Jonah had a job. The story is found in the book of Jonah in chapters 1 through 4. Jonah was a prophet of God who preached to Jews living in Israel. Then one day God told Jonah he wanted him to go on a long journey to the city of Nineveh and tell them God wanted them to repent also. If they did not, God would destroy Nineveh. Jonah did not want God to forgive these people. He wanted God to destroy them. So, instead of going to Nineveh, Jonah headed for the port of Joppa and got on a ship. But can you run away from God? Jonah went down in the ship and went to sleep. God was displeased with Jonah and sent a terrible storm. The wind was so fierce and the waves so big, the ship was about to sink. The frightened sailors cried out to their gods to save them and threw all the cargo overboard to keep it afloat. The storm continued. They awoke Jonah, and finally he confessed to the sailors, "This storm is all my fault, for I have run away from the Lord. Throw me into the sea, and it will calm down." Believing it was their only hope for survival, they took Jonah and threw him over the side of the ship into the deep sea. Immediately, the wind dropped, and the sea became calm. Jonah sank under the water, but God had prepared a great fish to swallow Jonah and keep him alive. Deep in the belly of this huge fish, Jonah cried out to God for help. He told God how sorry he was for disobeying him. 3 days and nights later, the fish vomited Jonah up onto dry land. God had forgiven him and spared his life. Once again, God told Jonah to go to Nineveh. This time, Jonah obeyed. When he arrived in the city, Jonah started preaching. In 40 days, God is going to destroy the city of Nineveh. Rather than laugh at the prophet, the people of Nineveh listened and repented. Even the mighty king of Nineveh took off his fine robes, put on sackcloth and ashes, and begged God to spare them. All over the city, people followed the example of the king and pleaded with God to forgive them. God heard their prayers, and because he is a God of mercy, he spared them and did not destroy Nineveh. God spared Jonah and forgave his disobedience. Then God used Jonah to save a wicked nation of 120,000 people. The best way to save us from our enemies is for God to save our enemies.
J. Jonah had a job. Jonah had a job to do, he went the other way. Jonah had a job to do, but then he ran away. A fish swallowed Jonah, he prayed and prayed and prayed. I think I better preach the word to Nineveh today. Jonah had a job to do, he went the right way. He ran and ran and ran and ran, to God he did obey. He ran and ran and ran and ran, to God he did obey.